What's up everyone, this is FPSticks bringing you some more Timeless Cup practice battles. These first matches are going to be up against my friend LA718. You can see our teams up on the screen there. He's running a very interesting team. He's running Blastoise as his starter. He's got that Spiritomb, that Snowy Castform that has given me so many problems in the past, as well as Beedrill, Lapras, and Skuntank. So I bring in my Blaziken here, knowing that it's going to have a favorable matchup against that Snowy Castform and the Lapras. The Spiritomb matchup is very interesting. My counter damage is going to be resisted, but my Blaze Kick damage is going to do a decent amount. So I draw a shield there, which is good. Switch into Lapras. This is a favorable matchup for me, but I do have to watch out for the Shadow Ball. And he goes for the Shadow Ball here. You can see he does like 55% of my health. So a lot of damage there. I farm up a little bit more, and I'm going to go for this Surf here. Hopefully end up taking out the Spiritomb. He lets it go, which is good for me. He brings back in that Skuntank. Skuntank is a very interesting choice for this Timeless Cup. Kind of works as a decent safe switch option like it did in Ferocious, but you do have to watch out for the Mud Boys within this cup. So he was just able to farm me down, which is not good at all. He's going to have a lot of energy. I bring in my Blaziken, and I'm actually just going to let this go, hoping to just drain him of his energy there. I bring in my Victory Bell, able to Razor Leaf him down, and he has Lapras in the back. So I got very fortunate there that I thought that he would have a Water type in the back, and it ended up working out for me. I'm just going to be able to throw this Leaf Blade here and take out this Lapras. Victory Bell's going to have decent matchups against Spiritomb, surprisingly, Lapras, and Blastoise. But with his Snowy Castform, Skuntank, and Beedrill, I do have to look out there. His team composition is just super interesting. It's really hard for me to read what's going to have like the most positive matchups against his team. He doesn't have a super big weakness to anything. Unless I was running a Mud Boy like Whiscash or something, then I would have a lot of favorable matchups. But here we have a Lapras mirror match. These are not super interesting to watch at all. Again, similar to the Umbreon mirror matches that we saw in the Ferocious Cup. He ends up going for the Surf instead of the Skull Bash, which is pretty interesting. I feel like the most efficient way to play out these matches is just go straight Skull Bash. He brings in Blastoise. This is still a favorable matchup for me, and I end up landing the Skull Bash. But I want to keep that Lapras matchup that I had, so I end up switching in Dragonair. Now this could be an Ice Beam, so I do have to watch out here. I throw a shield. It ends up just being a Hydro Cannon. That would still do a decent amount of damage, even though I would resist it. But I'm able to farm him down. There's that Snowy Castform, which gives Dragonair so many problems. It's able to get to this Weather Ball so fast. I go straight for the Aqua Tails here, trying to put on some shield pressure. I seem to be running into a lot of scenarios where Dragon Pulse Dragonair might be a better option. If I were able to land a Dragon Pulse on this Snowy Castform, it would do an amazing amount of damage. He ends up taking me out there, but I still have Blaziken, which has a very favorable matchup against Snowy Castform. These Weather Balls are going to be resisted, but Weather Ball is a very good move, and you're going to see it still does a decent amount of damage, about 30% there on Blaziken. So I do need to watch out for that, but I was able to get a lot of energy. In comes that Lapras. This Blaze Kick is going to do neutral damage, but Blaziken is still a good counter to Lapras. I just need to make sure I look out for these Surfs. So I do end up using my last shield here. These counters are really going to do a lot of damage. I'm unable to get to another charge move, but that's okay because my fast move did so much damage to this Lapras, it forced it to dump its energy. And in comes my defense boosted Lapras, and then this is going to be able to take out his Lapras. It is shiny, so it's got some swag there for sure. So I end up going for the Surf here, but you know this match is pretty much over. Still liking Blaziken. In some of my next upcoming videos, I'm going to try to run some new Mons to try out some more stuff. But this line of 6 I've really been liking. So these next battles are against Chirp Nation OG. Milotic against Venomoth. This is kind of an interesting matchup. You always need to watch out for the Silver Wind because that hits for a lot of damage. So I'm going straight for the Surf here. Hyper Beam takes 8 Dragon Tails to get to, takes a long time. He lets that Surf go through, and so we're able to see how much damage that does, which it does a lot, and I correctly shield this Silver Wind. So I am down a shield, but I am going to commit to fast moving down that Venomoth, and now I have a lot of built up energy. We'll see what he ends up bringing in. It is a Kingdra, so still a decent matchup for me. These Dragon Tails are going to be hitting super effective. I go straight for the Hyper Beam here, and it goes through, almost one-shots the Kingdra. So Milotic is just absolutely being ridiculous right now. Still having a favorable matchup against Dragonair here. I'm just going for the Surf, putting on shield pressure. But at this point, I switch into my own Dragonair, and I'm just going to be able to fast move down this Dragonair. So a very fast match there, and Milotic really pulled its weight. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to keep Milotic in my team of 6. It is a very interesting pick, but I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. I'm feeling pretty solid on the other 5 that I have, but it always seems to be that 6th pick is kind of up in the air until the tournament comes, and then I am forced to choose something. So Venomoth mirror match. He's not running a purified one, so I'm assuming this is a legacy. He goes for the charge move here. I'm going to shield because I believe I was able to get my confusion through. I was, but I also end up going for the Poison Fang. I feel like the smarter play in this mirror match, instead of me using my charge move there, I should have just committed to completely fast moving down the Venomoth. Because now I don't have hardly any energy and I'm down a shield, so I did not play that super well. By some miracle, I'm able to get to another Poison Fang here, which is really good for me. It draws that shield, so it evens up our shields now. He's running a shiny Dragonair, so I know that this is not going to have return. Most likely Dragon Pulse. In comes my Milotic, and it's going to do well again. He has Dragonair and Kingdra, and these Dragon Tail damage is really going to do a number on this thing. I bring in Blaziken just to try to draw out his energy here. I do end up shielding this. I'm going to have my counter damage try to get this Kingdra all the way down. I'm hoping he doesn't have enough for a second Outrage, and thank goodness I'm able to counter that down. Going for the Blast Burn here. Does a good amount to Dragonair even though it's resisted. Blast Burn is a very strong move, and Blaziken has a crazy high attack stat. Aqua Tail takes me out, but the Milotic comes back in. If he were able to get to a Dragon Pulse there, he definitely would have won that game, but my Dragon Tail is able to take him out. So scenarios like these, like we've just seen, where Milotic really pulls its weight, and you can get some surprise factors with the Hyper Beam. But if I practice against people that I'm going to be facing off against in a tournament, they start to get used to that Hyper Beam surprise, and then it's not as effective. This matchup, for example, if you look in PV Poke, is a relatively neutral matchup, Milotic against Sealeo. You do have to land the Hyper Fang, obviously, if you're the Milotic, so there is more skill involved than if you are the Sealeo and you can just go straight body slam spam. Sealeo, again, I feel like is a very safe pick for this cup, but I'm not fully convinced that double ice, meaning like Lapras and Sealeo on the same team, is necessary. I've been seeing some people run double ice, and you can see Chirp Nation here running double ice and double dragon. Very interesting strat. My Blaziken was able to do some good damage to that Sealeo. I bring back in my Milotic here. This is going to be a body slam, because nothing else that Sealeo has would be efficient using against this Milotic. He has another freaking body slam. Sealeo is so annoying to play against. At this point in time, I go for the Surf, hoping that he thinks that I'm at a Hyper Beam, because I did scare him last game by almost one-shotting his Kingdra. It does not work. He lets the Surf go through, but I am able to take him out, which is great. Now he has Lapras in the back. The Surf is going to do absolutely nothing, but somehow I get a shield, probably because he was scared of the Hyper Beam. And at this point, here's another scenario where Return Dragonair is not as good as Dragon Pulse in this closing scenario. When I'm up a shield, this matchup would be more in my favor if I were able to get to a Dragon Pulse. And as you can see, Return did hardly any damage, and I'm not able to get to a second charge move. So he ends up taking me out there. My Milotic comes back in, and as much work as that beast has put in, it finally goes down. So he ends up winning that match. Very good plays on his part. The thing with Return Dragonair is if you TM away Return, you cannot get it back. And this Dragonair, my Purified Dragonair that I have, definitely has better PvP IVs than the shiny one that I've been using in the past. So it's a difficult decision I have to make. Venomoth against Kingdra is a pretty interesting matchup. I believe I can just go straight Poison Fang. And because Kingdra is relatively squishy, I know I'm going to be able to get shields. I'm able to get to another Poison Fang here before he's able to get to an Outrage. Either that or he's over farming a little bit. I get both shields, so he has fully committed to fainting down my Venomoth. I am up 2 shields, but this is a very interesting scenario. I bring in Milotic because the Dragon Tail is going to do really well. Obviously have to shield this first Outrage, but I'm wondering if he has enough energy to get to 2 Outrages, and he does. So he equalizes the shield matchup. He kept switch advantage, but now he gave my Milotic some energy. I go straight for Blaziken. I do not want to switch too slow there. Yikes, Venomoth comes in. And at that point, I was just so scared of those confusions, I threw Blaze Kick, but I should have charged all the way up to a Blast Burn. Misplay on my part, but then he burns his energy here as well, which is a little bit of a mistake, because my Milotic is going to be able to come back in to farm up even more energy. Now I have enough for a Hyper Beam. Have you ever seen so many Hyper Beams successfully landed in battle? That is not something you see very frequently. And I actually am able to take out that Lapras, which is amazing. Definitely some misplays on my part in there. Bringing in Blaziken, Milotic, and Lapras now. So definitely going to be weak to grass. If he ends up bringing Meganium, it's going to be a problem. He leads with Meganium. Thank goodness it's in the lead scenario. I know he's going to get out of there. In comes Venomoth. Not good for me at all. I bring in Milotic. I am going to have to shield correctly on the Silverwind. He based me with Poison Fang. Very good on his part. Still has 2 shields. I'm over farming just a little bit. I don't want to commit 2 shields here, but this is probably going to be a Silverwind. I guess we're Poison Fang again, trying to bait me again. I'm able to get this Surf off, which is going to do a lot of damage to Venomoth. Venomoth, not very tanky at all. You can see how much damage that does. I'm going to try to Dragon Tail down the Venomoth, and I'm able to get it successfully, which is great. I have energy, but I am down a shield. In comes that Meganium. It's going to be able to farm me up, but I'm able to get to this Hyper Beam. If this goes through again, it'll be crazy. I do get the shield, which is good. In that scenario, Milotic was at least able to get a shield there before Meganium was able to farm it down. Blaziken is going to come back in. In comes that Lapras. So Blaziken has a favorable matchup against both of these scenarios. However, I believe I switch into my Lapras after I get that last shield, which is great because Meganium against Lapras, Meganium definitely has the advantage, and I do not want to deal with that situation at all. He goes for the Surf here, trying to bait out my last shield, which I was anticipating was going to happen. This is most likely going to be a Skull Bash, but I'm still going to let it go through. because I do not want my Lapras to have a lot of health so that Meganium can farm it down. So I'm perfectly okay with that Skull Bash going through. I'm even okay if I eat a Surf here. So I let this go through. I know I'm going to survive this, and I'm going to try to fast move down Lapras. I get it, which is really great. I just go straight for Surf because I don't want the Meganium to get a fast move in, and then I believe I'm going to switch directly into Blaziken. Yep. Because those Lapras mirror matches take so long, it completely ran out the switch clock, and I was able to get into Blaziken. Blaze Kick takes out Meganium. Good matches there. So that's the end of this video. Be looking forward to some upcoming videos I have. I'm going to try out some new Pokemon. Thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.